Stop for a moment and look around you. Right now, wherever you are in the world, pause and ask yourself, which country are you watching this from? What time is it where you are? Think about that for a second. While the rest of the world is moving, scrolling, or busy with life, you are here, watching this message. And that is not an accident. Ask yourself honestly, what is it in your life that you have been holding on to, defending, and justifying for too long? What is it you keep telling yourself is harmless, even when deep inside your heart you know it isn't right? Maybe it is a habit, a relationship, or a comfort that slowly pulls you away from peace, clarity, and the life you are meant to live. And now, look at yourself and ask, why did you stop here? Why did you choose this moment to listen? Could it be that this is exactly the message your heart has been waiting for? Could it be that Allah is about to show you why certain things in your life are ending, why some doors are closing, and why some attachments are being removed, even if you have spent years trying to hold on to them? By the time this video ends, you will not just understand what is leaving your life, you will understand why it was never meant to stay, and how letting go can finally give you the peace and clarity your heart has been craving. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, this moment is yours, and the next hour could change the way you see every ending in your life. So take a deep breath, stay with me, and let yourself hear this message fully, because what you are about to understand could change everything. When Allah ends something, it is not punishment, it is protection. When Allah begins to remove something from your life, it does not always mean you are being punished. Very often, it means you are being protected. Sometimes we become attached to things that slowly damage us, not all at once, but little by little. They may not look harmful on the outside, yet inside they make the heart heavy, distracted, and tired. Over time, they pull your focus away from what truly matters and weaken your connection with Allah without you realizing it. There are situations, habits, or relationships that start by feeling normal, then slowly become a source of stress, confusion, or spiritual distance. You may still function, still move forward in life, but something inside feels less alive. Your motivation weakens, your inner peace fades, and your heart feels unsettled. Allah sees this clearly, even when you do not. He sees what is quietly shaping your heart and where it is leading you. Allah gives time, space, and chances to reflect. He sends signs through discomfort, through repeated reminders, and through that inner feeling that something is not right. When those signs are ignored and the heart becomes used to the situation, Allah's care appears in a stronger form. He steps in and changes the situation itself, not to harm you, but to stop the harm that was slowly growing. What feels like loss in that moment can feel confusing and painful. You may wonder why something ended when you were trying to hold on to it, but many times what ends was slowly taking more from you than it was giving. Allah removes it before it takes your peace, your focus, and your closeness to Him completely. This is not rejection. This is care. Protection does not always feel gentle. Sometimes it feels sudden, uncomfortable, or even unfair. But later, when the heart becomes lighter and clarity returns, you begin to see what Allah saved you from. Some endings happen not because you were wrong, but because continuing would have harmed you more than letting go. What leaves your life at such moments is often what could not stay without costing you something precious inside. Justification is more dangerous than the mistake itself. Justification is often more dangerous than the mistake itself because it slowly changes the way the heart sees right and wrong. A mistake, when recognized, can lead a person to reflect, feel regret, and correct their path. But when a person begins to justify a mistake, the heart no longer feels the need to change. Instead of asking, "Is this right?" the mind starts asking, "How can I explain this?" That shift is very subtle, yet very powerful. At first, justification feels like comfort. It feels like easing the guilt and calming the mind. A person may tell themselves that the situation is not that serious, that others do the same thing, or that their intention is good. Over time, these thoughts become normal, the heart stops reacting, and what once felt heavy begins to feel ordinary. This is how sensitivity is lost. Not through one big wrong action, but through repeated excuses that silence the inner voice. When justification becomes a habit, the heart slowly learns to argue against guidance. Advice feels unnecessary, reminders feel uncomfortable. Instead of softening the heart, they feel like pressure. The person may still believe they are close to Allah, but their actions no longer match that belief. The danger here is not the mistake itself, but the confidence in remaining unchanged. Justification also delays growth. As long as a person is busy defending their behavior, they cannot reflect honestly. Self-improvement requires humility, but justification feeds pride. It convinces a person that they already understand, that they already have a reason, and that there is nothing more to learn. This blocks the heart from receiving guidance and wisdom. Another danger of justification is that it slowly turns wrong choices into a lifestyle. What started as a temporary situation becomes permanent. What was once an exception becomes normal. The heart adjusts to it and begins to protect it. At that point, the person may not even realize how far they have moved from their original values. The change happens quietly, without alarms or warnings. This is why justification is so harmful. It makes a person feel safe while slowly pulling them away from what is right. It removes the urgency to change and replaces it with comfort in staying the same. A heart that justifies no longer seeks improvement, it seeks reassurance. True awareness begins when a person stops defending their actions and starts questioning them honestly. Growth begins when excuses are replaced with sincerity. The moment justification ends, clarity begins. Allah removes what begins to compete for the heart. When something begins to compete for the heart, it slowly takes a place that was never meant for it. The heart has limited space, and whatever occupies it the most will influence thoughts, emotions, and decisions. When a habit, a relationship, a goal, or even a desire starts to control your mood, your focus, and your sense of peace, it quietly becomes a rival in the heart. This does not happen suddenly. It grows over time, often unnoticed. At first, the attachment feels harmless. It may even feel comforting or necessary, but gradually, it begins to shape priorities. You start thinking about it more than you think about your values. Your energy is pulled toward it, and your inner balance starts to shift. Things that once felt important begin to feel heavy, and discipline becomes harder to maintain. This is one of the clearest signs that something has started to take too much space inside. When the heart becomes crowded, focus weakens. Distractions increase. Good habits feel harder to keep, and consistency becomes a struggle. This is not because a person has become weak, but because the heart is divided. When something else begins to compete for attention and loyalty, the heart feels torn. Peace fades and restlessness grows. Allah sees this long before it becomes obvious to you. He sees when something is slowly pulling you away from clarity, balance, and inner strength. He knows when a relationship drains more than it supports, when a habit dulls awareness, or when a desire begins to lead rather than serve. Out of care, Allah does not allow such competition to continue forever. When Allah removes what competes for the heart, it may feel painful at first. The attachment makes the loss feel heavy, but what is actually being removed is not comfort, it is imbalance. Allah removes what distracts so the heart can breathe again. He clears what weighs the heart down so it can return to calm and focus. Often, only after the removal does clarity return. The mind becomes quieter, the heart feels lighter, the constant tension fades. With time, a person realizes how much energy was being drained without being noticed. What once felt impossible to let go of is later seen as a burden that had to be lifted. This kind of removal is not rejection, it is realignment. Allah removes what competes for the heart so that the heart can return to what gives it true strength, stability, and peace. Mercy sometimes comes as an ending. Mercy does not always arrive in a way that feels gentle or comforting. Many people expect mercy to look like ease, relief, and everything working out the way they hoped. But sometimes mercy comes in the form of an ending. It comes as a door closing, a situation changing, or a path being blocked. At the moment it happens, it can feel confusing and painful, but its purpose is care, not harm. There are times when Allah allows something to continue so that a person has the chance to reflect and choose better. Time is given so awareness can grow. Signs appear through discomfort, inner restlessness, or repeated reminders. These moments are opportunities to step back and reconsider. When those signs are ignored and the heart continues forward without change, mercy takes a different shape. An ending often comes when continuing would cause deeper harm. What looks like stability on the outside may be creating damage on the inside. Allah sees the long-term effect of what you are holding on to, even when you only see the present comfort. When the situation reaches a point where words, reminders, and feelings are no longer enough, Allah changes the situation itself. This kind of mercy can feel heavy at first. It may feel like loss, disappointment, or failure. But mercy is not always meant to feel easy. Sometimes it is meant to stop you before you go further down a path that would cost you your peace, your clarity, or your strength. An ending can prevent years of regret. Many people only understand this mercy later, after time has passed and the heart has settled. Looking back, they realize that what ended was slowly closing them off from growth. What felt painful in the moment becomes something they feel grateful for later. The ending created space for healing, clarity, and renewal. Mercy that comes as an ending is a form of guidance. It redirects when continuing would only deepen confusion. It breaks what needed to be broken so something healthier can form. Even when it hurts, it is still mercy working quietly in the background, protecting what truly matters inside you. The heart recognizes truth before the mind accepts it. The heart often senses the truth long before the mind is ready to accept it. There are moments when everything looks fine on the outside, yet inside there is a quiet discomfort that cannot be ignored. The mind may find reasons to continue, but the heart feels unsettled. This inner unease is not weakness or confusion, it is awareness beginning to surface. The heart reacts before logic does. It feels heaviness when something is not right, even if the situation seems reasonable. You may notice a lack of peace, a constant restlessness, or a feeling that something is off. These feelings are easy to dismiss at first. The mind quickly steps in to explain them away, offering reasons and excuses. But the heart keeps sending the same signal. When a person ignores this inner recognition, the distance grows. The mind becomes louder while the heart becomes quieter. Over time, the discomfort may turn into numbness. This is why listening early matters. The heart's discomfort is not meant to create fear, it is meant to guide. It is a form of inner honesty that points toward alignment. Often, when something is wrong for the heart, it requires constant explanation. The more a person has to defend a choice, the clearer it becomes that the heart is not at ease. A heart at peace does not need to argue, it rests naturally. When rest is missing, it is a sign that something needs attention. Allah places this awareness in the heart before changing circumstances around you. The inner signal comes first, then the outer change follows. When the heart recognizes the truth early and the person responds, change can happen gently. When the heart is ignored, change may come more firmly. Learning to listen to the heart requires honesty and courage. It means allowing discomfort to teach rather than silencing it with excuses. The heart's recognition is not there to judge you. It is there to protect you and guide you back to what brings clarity, peace, and balance. Attachment is not the same as need. Many people confuse attachment with need, and this confusion can cause great pain. We hold on to people, habits, routines, or situations because they feel familiar or comforting, and we call it necessary. We convince ourselves that we cannot live without them, that they define our stability, our happiness, or our identity. But attachment is not the same as need. What we are truly dependent on is what nourishes our heart and strengthens our inner self. What we are attached to may only be draining our energy, distracting us from clarity, and keeping us stuck in patterns that no longer serve us. Attachment begins quietly. At first, it feels natural, even helpful. It gives a sense of security, a feeling of belonging, and a comfort that seems harmless. But slowly, it can take more from us than it gives. The more we rely on it for happiness, peace, or self-worth, the more it controls our emotions and decisions. We may justify staying attached because it feels right or it's important to me, but inside, the heart feels tension, restlessness, or emptiness. This is the signal that attachment has taken the place of something far more essential, our connection with what truly supports us. When Allah removes what we are attached to, it can feel like a punishment, a loss, or even a betrayal by life itself. But in reality, it is an act of care. Allah sees the hidden weight these attachments place on our hearts. He knows how they pull us away from balance, how they drain focus, and how they prevent growth. By letting go, even when it feels impossible, space is created for the heart to breathe again. Peace and clarity begin to return, and with that, a deeper sense of stability emerges. Stability that comes not from dependence on external things, but from inner grounding. Attachment can create a false sense of control. We think that by holding on tightly, we are securing our happiness or our path. But often, attachment traps us in patterns that keep us small, distracted, and disconnected. What we hold on to may seem necessary, but in truth, it may be a barrier to what we truly need. Real needs are subtle. They strengthen, nourish, and allow growth. They do not weigh the heart down, make the mind restless, or take energy from what truly matters. Letting go of attachment is not easy. It requires honesty, patience, and trust. It requires the courage to face the emptiness that may appear at first and the faith that Allah is making room for something better. When the heart finally releases what is not needed, it opens to receive what is essential. What was lost often turns out to have been a burden in disguise. What comes after is lighter, stronger, and aligned with what the heart truly needs to grow and thrive. Understanding this difference changes everything. Life becomes less about clinging to what feels safe and more about embracing what nourishes and strengthens. The heart becomes wiser, the mind calmer, and the soul freer. Attachment is temporary. What nourishes the heart is lasting. Recognizing this is one of the deepest lessons the heart can learn. Release comes before replacement. True change in life cannot happen without release. Often we cling to people, situations, habits, or possessions because we fear loss, uncertainty, or the unknown. We hold on tightly, thinking that by keeping these things, we are protecting ourselves, our comfort, or our stability. But real growth, real blessing, and real peace cannot enter a heart that refuses to let go. Release always comes before replacement, because space must be created for something better, something aligned with our true needs and purpose. Holding on too tightly delays what is meant to come. The heart remains full of what is ending, and as a result, there is no room for what is beginning. Sometimes we see people around us receiving clarity, opportunities, or joy, and we wonder why it has not reached us. Often the answer is that the heart is still holding on to what no longer belongs there. As long as we resist letting go, the gift cannot fit. Letting go requires humility and trust. It means admitting that some things are beyond our control and accepting that what is leaving is not always a punishment, but often a preparation. The heart must surrender the old before it can welcome the new. This process is not always comfortable. The mind may resist, fear may rise, and memories may try to pull you back. But this discomfort is part of the transformation. It is the stretching of the heart, preparing it for a new form of peace, understanding, and clarity. Replacement cannot arrive before release, because blessings cannot fill a space that is still occupied. When a heart is divided between attachment and surrender, confusion dominates. The mind cannot focus, the soul cannot rest, and opportunities pass by unnoticed. Only when the heart consciously decides to let go of habits that harm, of relationships that drain, of routines that distract, can it receive what truly belongs to it. This process also teaches trust. We must trust that what is leaving is not the end, that what is coming is guided and precise. The heart learns that surrender is not weakness, but strength. It learns that freedom comes from choice, and choice comes from the courage to release. Sometimes the emptiness at first feels heavy, but it is not a void to fear, it is a space of possibility. In that space, growth, peace, and guidance take root. When release happens, clarity begins to return. What was once chaotic starts to feel organized. What was once confusing starts to feel simple. The heart begins to recognize its true needs, its true direction, and its true priorities. What comes next is not random. It is carefully aligned with what the heart, mind, and soul truly require. Understanding that release comes before replacement changes the way we approach endings. Instead of resisting, resenting, or clinging, we begin to see endings as preparation. Each letting go is an invitation to growth, a chance to empty the heart so that what truly belongs can arrive. And when we finally release with trust and courage, the replacement often comes in ways far beyond what we imagined, filling the heart with light, peace, and purpose. Allah wants the heart, not the excuses. Everything Allah wants from us begins with the heart. Many people focus on appearances, explanations, or justifications, believing that if they can defend themselves or make their actions seem acceptable, they are fulfilling their purpose. But Allah is not concerned with excuses or explanations. What He seeks is a heart that is sincere, a heart that is honest, and a heart that turns toward Him willingly. No amount of reasoning can replace the simplicity of true submission. No argument can substitute for genuine alignment with what the heart knows is right. A heart that clings to excuses slowly drifts away from clarity. When a person constantly defends their choices, justifies their actions, and rationalizes what they know is wrong, they are quietly training themselves to resist guidance. The mind becomes busy with reasons, while the heart grows heavier with distraction. Excuses may comfort for a time, but they do not bring peace. They do not nourish the soul, and they do not restore focus or strengthen connection. The heart recognizes truth before the mind. When excuses dominate, the heart becomes restless, uneasy, and distant. There is an inner tension that cannot be silenced by logic or persuasion. It is a quiet voice urging reflection, honesty, and return. Allah does not need grand gestures or lengthy explanations. He only wants the heart to be awake, willing, and sincere. Sincerity is the key that opens every door. Excuses are locks that keep blessings and clarity out. When Allah removes what we cling to, when He ends what we justify, it is an invitation to focus on the heart itself. The end is meant to purify, not punish. The heart is being called to examine its intentions, its attachments, and its priorities. It is a call to remove the noise of justification so that the soul can finally hear, understand, and feel guidance. This is why letting go is so critical, because what remains is your inner self, unshielded by excuses, ready to align with truth. A heart surrendered with honesty brings clarity, peace, and strength that no external factor can replace. It sees what is essential, recognizes what matters, and trusts the process of life. Excuses may delay understanding, but a willing heart always finds the path to alignment. Allah wants your sincerity, your openness, and your willingness to release what does not serve you. He wants a heart that chooses Him, even when it is hard, even when it is confusing, and even when it requires letting go of comfort. When the heart becomes the focus, everything changes. Decisions become easier, burdens feel lighter, and guidance becomes clear. Excuses fade because they are no longer needed. The heart leads, and the mind follows. The soul grows stronger because it is no longer weighed down by defense or justification. What remains is simplicity, clarity, and purpose, exactly what the heart was created to hold. In the end, Allah's desire is simple. He wants hearts that belong to Him fully, hearts that stop defending what does not belong, and hearts that embrace sincerity without condition. What leaves your life is never meant to take the place of your inner alignment. What remains is the heart itself, ready to receive peace, guidance, and fulfillment. Excuses cannot enter that space, but truth, clarity, and love always can. Take a moment and let this sink in. Everything that has left your life, every ending you didn't understand, every door that closed, was never meant to break you. It was meant to guide you, protect you, and prepare your heart for what truly belongs to you. What you lost was never the enemy, it was the teacher. Remember this, your heart is the most precious part of you. Allah wants your heart fully, not your excuses, not your justifications, not the comforts you hold on to when they no longer serve you. What remains is what truly matters, and what leaves is making space for something far greater, something that will bring clarity, peace, and strength that lasts. As you step forward from this moment, carry this truth with you. Endings are not punishments, they are protection. Letting go is not weakness, it is courage. And what arrives next, when the heart is ready, will be far beyond what you could imagine. Stay aware of your heart, cherish its messages, and trust that every removal, every shift, and every ending is a sign of care, not rejection. Life is always moving, always reshaping, and always giving you exactly what you need when your heart is ready to receive it. So take this truth, let it settle, and let it guide you, because what truly remains, the peace, the clarity, and the connection within your heart, is yours forever.